I'm Rose Della, the Artistic Director and Principal of the Center for Indigenous Theatre. CIT is a post-secondary performing arts training center. We offer a 3- and 4-year full-time conservatory-style education. Our program is designed to connect theater training with traditional and contemporary Indigenous cultural practices, to advance artistic development, industry and business practices, and ultimately to cultivate professional opportunities. You will come here to train, to learn, to grow, to become the emboldened and inspired voices of tomorrow, the new generation of passionate Indigenous culture creators. To tell your stories in your voice.
Nea Nehio. My name is Kitsune. I am the offspring of a residential school survivor. Many of the students here have similar stories where their parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents went to residential schools, where our culture, our language, and identity was stripped from us. Our practice is forbidden. Today I'm here to give thanks by doing a land acknowledgement and thanking the caretakers that came before us. But instead of doing a specific acknowledgement, I put down some tobacco today for you to have a safe journey and to enjoy the show. If you'd like to know whose land you're currently occupying, check out these 2 resources here. So whether you're here in Ontario, in Toronto like the students, or nationwide, giving thanks to those who came before us means that we are giving thanks to our ancestors and the many generations who came before us today.
Welcome to the Center for Indigenous Theatre's program info session. My name's Kai.
And my name is Kate, and we are part of the administrative team at CIT.
We're excited to be here today to talk about our school and how you can become a student.
Have you ever thought of pursuing a career in theater? Let us know in the comments.
If you're watching right now, you probably have a couple questions about the Center for Indigenous Theatre. What we're about and what we're all about. We're here to hopefully answer those questions. We'll tell you a little bit of our history at CIT, what the program and school year will look like, and what we do to keep you safe, as well as how to apply and get into our program.
During our video today, you'll get a sneak peek of some of CIT's creations. We also were able to sit down with alumni Candace Scott Moore for an interview, so make sure you stay tuned. But first, let's start off with a quick history lesson. CIT was founded by James Buller and was originally a 6-week program called Native Theatre School. The Native Theatre School was then renamed Center for Indigenous Theatre in 1994. We went on to become a full-time program in 1999. We then expanded to a 3-year program in 2002, then added a 4th year in 2018.
If you're still wondering what we're really all about, CIT is a post-secondary program that provides training in acting, voice, and movement. We also offer cultural classes that are focused on dance, song, and oral history. We have partnerships across Canada that we're able to share experiences with throughout the year. This includes land-based teachings with Debajamajig storytellers in Manitowoc and Onomatazing in Nipissing First Nations.
Now it's time for 2 special performances from our March 2021 showcase, featuring our first-year students. Hope you enjoy it!
Estom. In the old world.
Long before our world.
And a bush and his young brother Wolf lived by a lake.
Nippy, nippy, nippy. Treacherous serpent people, the evil giant snakes who live beneath the water.
Bush brother Wolf was out hunting alone.
Pulled through the ice by the serpent people and drowned in the ice water below. Nanabush searched everywhere, but not a trace of his brother could he find. He knew that the worst must have happened. The serpent people had drowned his brother as he feared.
One day, just as he was approaching a steep hill, he heard a peculiar booming sound. What can that be, he asked himself. I must climb the hill and find out. He saw a little lake in the valley below. Sunning themselves on the shore were two serpents. Nanabush drew his bow and shot an arrow at each serpent.
Then a strange thing happened. The water in the little lake began to rise. It rose steadily, soon flooding the whole valley.
They are going to try and drown me.
Bixixana. They nearly drowned me, said Nanabush, catching his breath. I shall have to be careful, or those evil serpents will certainly kill me.
Wondering what he should do next, he wandered away through the woods again. He thought he could hear a woman crying.
The old woman was a serpent woman.
My gun, my gun, my gun, my gun. He also realized that she did not know who he was.
Nanabush slew the wicked old serpent woman. He followed the path to the lake and found the door. He opened it and found himself inside this huge lodge.
The home of the serpent people.
Serpent people.
He saw the body of his brother, who had been drowned by the serpents. In the flash of anger, Nanabush leaped forward and pushed the arrows deeper into the bodies of the serpents, killing them instantly.
Mekiken, I have avenged my brother's death, he shouted. Nanabush slipped out the serpent's lodge and raced back to the shore.
The water's rising again, and this time you will drown unless you come with me.
A stump! A stump! A stump! In a few more minutes, the whole world was covered by the surging water.
Even the highest hills were not seen.
A full month.
The muskrat dived in, and he was gone longer than the other two. They were certain muskrat drowned. Just as they were going to give up on him, his body appeared on the surface, motionless.
Nanabush pulled the muskrat onto the raft and revived him. He noticed that the little animal was holding onto a paw tightly closed. He pried it open. There were tiny wet particles of sand. The muskrat had reached the old world after all. Sahikan, 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 Sahikan. Soon, they grew so big that an island was formed in the shape of a turtle. Nanabush and all the animals stepped on the island and began to sing and dance in a circle. They made the circle bigger and bigger as the island grew.
Hoka!
Wow, that was really impressive. Our students are super creative. What do you think?
I loved it. We have lots of talented people coming through the school. Make sure you check out the rest of the video on our YouTube channel.
Want to know what the school year might look like? Well, the next cohort of first-year students start school in September. They begin an orientation period of CIT and Toronto. And then students will then enter full-time training with a winter break in between their studies. Our first years then continue training from January to May, leading up to graduation.
Due to COVID-19, CIT has special protocols that have been put into place. This includes mandatory social distancing and facial coverings, as well as screening before entering CIT studio, sanitization of all surfaces and props. The health and safety of our students, faculty, and staff members is the utmost importance to keeping the CIT community safe. As they say in show theater, the show must go on.
That may leave you wondering what your school year or what your schedule might look like in the upcoming school year. As our current health and safety regulations continue to develop, your training may be influenced by COVID-19. As you can see, one schedule includes 100% in-person training, and the other schedule includes a mixture of 60% online training and 40% in-person training. You have a variety of classes at CIT, including dance, voice, physical theater, singing, and story creation.
Now it's time for an interview with our alumni, Candace Scott Moore, who graduated in 2003 and has been a major influence in the Indigenous arts community. Take a look.
Well, since leaving the Center for Indigenous Theatre nearly 20 years ago, I have managed to actually have a solid career working in the arts. So originally I started off with having my own community theater group where we would go to different communities and facilitate community theater workshops. You know, doing work like that, you know, there's a lot of production side that goes into it as well, and producing and organizing and needing to go from here, point A to point B, everything we need in between, which really taught me a lot more into like the producing side of things, which actually led to a further career in working on events. So now I'm a producer and an event manager. I work as an arts administrator, and I manage people's artist careers. So I've stayed super busy, and love all the multiple projects that I've done across Canada, across the United States, and internationally. I've done events in Australia as well. So yes.
And just going off of that, can you think of like your most favorite event that you've done, one that's been the most memorable?
So one of the most favorite events that I have ever worked on, I'm going to have to say, is Techarato Music Festival. So Techarato Music Festival is a festival celebrating Indigenous artists from all around the world. And that was a project that I've created with my collective, the 50/50 Performing Arts Collective. And so I work as the production manager. I do some programming for that. So that is one that really stands out. Another one that I would have to say is I worked in many roles. I'm the head talent coordinator for the Inspire Awards, formerly known as the National Aboriginal Achievement Awards. I've worked as the associate producer, as well as the producer of the opening ceremonies for that show specifically. I've been working on the Inspire Awards for 15 years. So that is another really cool project that comes to mind, as well as Planet Indigenous. Planet Indigenous, I worked on all of the festivals, all the years that it was in existence, and met my husband at that festival. He's a performer from Australia. So, you know, really cool stuff. I mean, I could go on and on and on with the different festivals, films. I have a arts collective here in my community called the Yokodang Arts Collective, and we work with our community members and the elders, and we create and write plays, and we produce them using our community members. Everybody's involved. Those are the projects that are like to the heart, you know. It's like our stories created by us, told by us, produced by us, performed by us, and like everybody in the community comes, everybody. So yeah. So
that's awesome. No, you're so immersed in it. So you came to CIT to, I'm just assuming you came to learn theater, but you're more in the production side of everything now, right?
So when I first came to the Center for Indigenous Theatre, I was I was going to be a star. I was going to be, you know, a theater actor, and I loved it. I did. I really, truly loved all of the learning that took place to form characters and all the backstories and all the, you know, from like our stage combat classes, our clown classes, our acting, our voice, vocal movement, like all of that. I feel like plays into my roles today, but also in my final year was more of the technical production side of the theater, and that's where I fell in love with, you know, just doing the production side and stage managing. Love it. Producing, love it. You know, I just found my niche and built on that. And yeah, so it was at school. It was in my final year, and I was an apprentice, stage manager apprentice on the scrubbing project with the Turtle Gals. And I was like, wow, this is, you know, because even when I was in school, I wanted, as a performer, I was always like, so I was on the stage, but I was watching, what are the lighting guys doing? Like, what is the set people doing? Like, what is everybody doing? You're like, oh, these meetings are happening over here. Like, I really found myself wanting to know everything about the show. And, you know, and now I do. I know everything about the shows that I work on.
How was your time at CIT?
Okay. So my days at CIT were probably some of the most memorable times of my life. I feel like it was those formative years of becoming an adult and growing up and learning to make decisions and learning who I am and going out and meeting people. So I would have to say that, number one, I came from the res. You know, I was just 19, 20 years old and moved to Toronto when it was like, I had only ever been to Toronto to see a Blue Jays game, Canada's Wonderland, maybe maybe a family trip once to see a play. But other than that, I had never been to Toronto on my own. So coming and moving to the city, when my parents dropped me off, they left, and they were in teary eyes, leaving, thinking, oh, what are we doing, leaving our daughter in this big city? And, you know, I was excited. I was so excited to be there. So excited to be doing something that I loved to do. Finding my way to different studios, going to my classroom and meeting my classmates, and those classmates became my family. You know, we did everything together. I was very fortunate that the years that I went to school, like we you know, my fellow classmates, we were all really good friends, and still to this day, like 20 years later, we're still in touch and we're still friends. But you know, learning all the different crafts and skills that I had learned and I had never ever experienced before. Every day was something new. That's the one exciting thing that I really appreciated, was that, you know, we would never be repeating the same things, and like getting introduced, all our faculty, the faculty was the best. You know, we had the greatest teachers who were always willing to share and challenge us. And I mean, at the time I'd be like, whatever, you know, like you're giving me this feedback, but you know, I didn't understand, like maybe at the time I didn't understand, but now today I am so grateful that I got challenged on the things that I did, because it really helped me grow. So going through those different challenges. But my days at CIT, because I was there for the 3-year program, and yeah, the best days of my life, I'd have to say.
So if you could go back and tell yourself, or tell a 19, 20-year-old who's here right now, to get them prepared for this life as an artist, or to get prepared for school, or anything that would help them later on in life, what would you say to them?
Okay, if I were to go back and tell my teen self about life okay, I would have to say, get out of bed, do the work, because whatever you put into it now is what you're going to get out in the end. I committed myself. You know, you make that commitment. You're not making a commitment to your fellow students. You're not making a commitment to the teachers or to the staff or your community. You're making that commitment to yourself. And what you put into this is what, you know, is what's going to be the outcome later. And I'm grateful that, you know, I was able to really follow through, like go above and beyond. If you have an assignment, do the assignment, put the extra work in, find out more, because what you do now and what you learn now, well, you have all of these amazing teachers, the amazing community around you that's uplifting and supporting you. I mean, we'll always be there later, but now is your developmental time. So now people are sharing, you know, really take it in, absorb all of that, and just, yeah, you are going to get out of this what you put into it. So put everything you have into it, because you are investing in yourself, your future, your career. So yeah, that's what I would say to myself.
Candace is such an inspiration. It's awesome to see what students go on to do after graduating from CIT. Did that inspire you to apply? Let us know in the comments.
Hey Kai, do you want to hear a joke?
Okay, Kate, what's the joke?
Why are there so many ghosts haunting the theaters?
Why?
They can't wait to boo the performance.
That was a good one, but don't theater jokes always seem so staged?
Are you wondering if the Center for Indigenous Theatre is right for you? Let's go over the requirements needed in order to apply to CIT. First, you must identify as First Nation, Métis, or Inuit. You must be 18 years of age or older. You need to have a grade 10 English level or higher, have an interest in acting, movement, voice, self-discovery, and theater, as well as an interest in exploring Indigenous culture and knowledge.
Now that we've gone over requirements, here are the important documents that you are required to submit when applying to the Center for Indigenous Theatre. They include an updated resume, a 500-word essay expressing your interest in theater and coming to CIT, 2 references that can vouch for your interest in theater and performing arts, a photocopy of your health card, and an audition video of you doing some script work. We have a video to help you out on how to make an audition for CIT. Take a look.
Hi, I'm Sam Twin. I'm a fourth-year student here at Center for Indigenous Theatre.
Hi, I'm Teresa Cutneff, and I'm also a fourth-year student at the Center for Indigenous Theatre.
We'll give you some tips and tricks on how to do your monologues and get them sent into CIT.
Yes, so first find an age-appropriate monologue for yourself. Use something from the Indigenous canon, something like from Thompson Highway, Drew Hayden Taylor, Kenneth T. Williams. Do you have any more?
Keith Barker, Alanis King. And if you have any troubles finding anything like that, you could email CIT and we'll provide you with a monologue.
So Sam, what did you do for your audition into CIT?
I did Isaac from Thunderstick by Kenneth Williams. What about you? What did you do?
I was sent a collection of different story pieces from Coyote City. What to wear? Wear something simple, neutral colors, something that you're comfortable and confident in.
Yep. And you know, there's not really a time limit for it, but it should be.
If you have any other skills that you want to show, like singing, dancing, hand drumming, anything and everything, feel free to submit it. But you do have to have a monologue.
Unless, of course, you're a storyteller and you have a story, then you could submit that instead of the monologue, but no accents, please.
And the most important thing is to have fun. And if you stumble, that's okay.
Yep.
You can do it over and over as many times as you feel. Have any other difficulties like doing your monologue or audition?
Probably the hardest part was memorizing it all, and I had somebody film it for me. I did not know that it was best to film it with a neutral background, so I filmed it just in a living room and there was a lot of things in the background, but it worked out. And you don't need a professional camera. We're doing this on an iPhone 10. You can stack it up on some books or put it on a table, whatever you gotta do. As long as it's capturing basically from half of your torso up so we can see your shoulders and your head. You could have a relative or somebody hold the camera for you and you could just send that into CIT.
Have fun.
Throughout the year, we have ongoing requirements in order to remain in the program. Wondering what it takes to be a CIT graduate? You are expected to be on time and present for all classes and must actively be looking for funding while you attend your studies. Tuition costs each year are $3,750. If you are unable to receive band funding, there are other organizations that you can submit an application to for funding. These include, but not limited to, Inspire Foundation, Dreamcatcher Charitable Foundation, Métis Nation of Ontario, Canada Post, the Mississaugas of the Credit, and other local organizations. If you are in need of funding application assistance, contact us at the Center for Indigenous Theatre. No student is ever turned away due to lack of funding.
Hey Kate, what's your favorite part about working at CIT?
I love being part of the community, and I really enjoy watching the students.
Awesome.
It's really enjoyable.
Please don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Also, stay tuned for our upcoming show, Bannock Republic, during the Toronto Fringe Festival this July. For more information, check out our website.
We would like to thank our funders. With their generous support, we are able to provide a school for our students. The Departments of Canadian Heritage, the Ontario Arts Council, the Waybeak Aboriginal Employment and Training, Hastings Park Foundation of Rights and Freedoms, Ontario Arts Foundation, and Toronto Arts Foundation.
Thank you for attending our program info session. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below. Thank you, and we look forward. Make sure to like and subscribe to our channel to catch up upcoming news and shows.